to the OBGYN for fear of what we'd learn, we decided to face our fears and get tested for a variety of infertility issues. Unfortunately, like so many other couples discover, the answers we desperately wanted and needed weren't going to be available to us. More frustrated than ever, we learned that there was no clear-cut reason for our inability to conceive. None of us exhibited any physical, physiological, or biochemical reason to prevent a pregnancy. The experts didn't have a clue as to why we weren't pregnant and dubbed us with the term non-specific infertility. They suggested that we de-stress and keep trying. Great. Hadn't that been what we were doing all along? Deep down, I felt there must have been a healthier, more effective alternative. 14 years of study, research, trial, error, and experimentation. That's when I decided to take matters into my own hands. If the experts weren't going to find out what was thwarting our attempts at having a child, I was going to figure it out on my own and fix it. So I started to research every aspect of infertility. I read every book and research study I could get my hands on and began talking with hospitals and researchers worldwide about clinical trials and the new treatment strategies being considered for couples like us. I spent hours at the library swallowing stacks of books, journals, and magazines about infertility, hormonal balancing, oriental medicine, and nutrition, and reading every word. I have literally read hundreds of medicine books from cover to cover. My library grew to over 617 health and nutritional books, and I had read every word almost to the point of memorizing them. I was clearly obsessed with my mission and felt as if I'd go nuts if I didn't find an answer. But I didn't just read. I interviewed countless of other fertility sufferers and endlessly picked the brains of every doctor, herbalist, homeopath, and naturopath kind enough to lend me minutes of their time and fragments of their expertise and knowledge only to find a solid solution to my infertility. I tried everything. Book knowledge and interviews are one thing, but it's not the same as knowledge from actual experience. Scientific facts and figures and theories weren't enough. I have also tried every infertility treatment known to science and natural health with conviction, desire, and hope that it will make a difference, that it will finally eliminate my infertility and bring me back my life. I began applying all of my newfound knowledge and before long was taking more than a dozen vitamin supplements and minerals every day, and having my husband do the same. I became convinced that preconception came for both the husband and the wife. Preconception care. I became convinced that preconception care for both the husband and the wife were key to conception. We started exercising, eating organic, avoiding toxins where we could, and even had our amalgam fillings replaced with ceramic to avoid having mercury in our systems. We even began practicing biorhythm lunar cycle, which shows a woman her most fertile time by comparing the phase of the moon at her birth with the current moon phases. Yet, I still could not get pregnant. The vast vast majority of the above techniques and so-called treatments either made me feel worse or simply didn't have any effect whatsoever on my infertility condition. Moreover, most medical books on infertility offered partial dietary advice along with vitamins and special herbal supplements. These approaches don't work either. I know because I tried them all and I still could not get pregnant. I realized the hard way that there were no magic pills or fix-it-all products to infertility. Changing your diet and taking certain supplements may increase your chances of getting pregnant, but when the real cause of infertility is neglected, the chances of becoming pregnant for couples with infertility issues would be slim, along with an increased chance for miscarriage. Now, 14 painful years and thousands of diligent work hours later, the infertility puzzle was finally solved. Not long after a conversation with a midwife and a Chinese medicine expert, I discovered a very important piece of research. I believe now that it was the final piece to our puzzle and allowed us not only to get pregnant, but to carry our baby to full term twice. After more than 14 years of diligent work and in-depth experience on a daily basis, after experiencing several eureka moments, and after a long process of trial and error and dozens of interviews and experiments on myself, I applied my years of training to finally uncover the solution to infertility. From all the truths and evidence, misconceptions and lies, the infertility puzzle was finally solved. It took me more than a year to polish and refine my discovery, and then I applied it myself with great hopes and passion, and to my sheer amazement, after a few weeks of following it, I became pregnant with my first daughter at age 43. After learning this new trick, we conceived our daughter within a few short months. Our second pregnancy took less than a month to achieve. 10 years after beginning our quest, we were the proud parents of 2 beautiful, healthy children. It took me a few years with a lot of research to get to where I am today, to know exactly what works and what doesn't. Yes, after desperate trial and error, countless of useless treatments, disappointments and agony, a simple, holistic system opened the door to my new and much brighter life of motherhood. I was also excited to see that my other infertility-related symptoms had diminished. After years of waiting, I was finally free from infertility. I have become a proud mother of 2. Amazingly, every other woman who used in this method got the same results. I also started testing my system on other women who had struggled to get pregnant, and it yielded the same shocking and groundbreaking results. In less than 3 months, and on average, 27 out of 35 women participating in my experiment had conceived. What's even more exciting is that it worked regardless of what the reason was for infertility, and among women of any age, from 28 to 47. All women who used this method had experienced the following benefits. They became pregnant very quickly and then gave birth to healthy babies with little pain involved. There wasn't even one case of miscarriage registered. Any hormonal related disorders they had were completely eliminated. Their sex lives had dramatically improved. They felt happier, calmer, and more energized. They experienced dramatic improvement in other unrelated health conditions. They felt rejuvenated and reported looking younger and more vibrant. So now I took the time, tweaked and refined the system to completion to ensure that it will yield the most remarkable long-lasting results. And the best news is, it's now available for you to try it. Like Vicky Gregoire, who says that the program was the only program that made a real difference in her life, and she's now about to give birth to her first child after 12 years of tests, charts, drugs, and disappointments. Like Imani Lombardi, who successfully became pregnant at age 40, like Irene Williams, who after 4 months became pregnant with her now beautiful 11-month-old boy because of this book. I also made some amazing discoveries. The first thing I discovered was that almost everyone is getting ripped off by the drug and pharmaceutical companies. The infertility and drug industries are filled with snake oil marketing vampires that are getting rich by preying on your desperation. The second thing I discovered is that almost everyone is dead wrong in the way they try to treat your infertility. It's a fact. The methods you're probably using right now to treat your infertility may be seriously damaging your reproductive hormonal system and your health. Warning: infertility drugs may increase the risk of ovarian cancer. A study had found a higher rate of ovarian cancer among women who took infertility drugs, the New England Journal of Medicine says. The finding validates concerns regarding these drugs that surface periodically in medical journals. The study had obviously generated strong criticism for the infertility industry, now a $1 billion a year profit-making enterprise. According to the study, 3,837 women who underwent infertility treatment between 1974 and 1985 in Seattle were analyzed by Mary Ann Rossing, DMV, DVM, PhD. This is Mary Ann Rossing. She has those degrees. Yay! At the University of Washington and the Fred Hutchinson Cancer Research Center. Among all women who had taken the drug Clomid, a drug which induces ovulation, there were 3 times more cases of ovarian cancer diagnosed within the study period compared to women who had not taken drugs during 12 or more monthly cycles. If you suffer from ovarian disorders and are not treating your condition in a timely manner, you might never have children. Having ovarian disorders, fibroids, or PCOS can seriously interfere with your fertility and prevent you from becoming pregnant. Since your reproductive system is intelligent enough to know that your internal environment is unsafe for a new baby, many women with infertility issues or women that suffer from ovarian cysts, fibroids,